This is not the story I expected to be sharing with you today. It is not the story I believed I'd be living right now. It's not the moment in time that I thought I'd be giving it. And it's definitely not the place that I expected to be sharing it with you from. We are all right now living stories. And every one of us has a story within us that is meant to be shared and meant to be heard, that's meant to inspire others, if only to remind us that we are all on our own spiritual path towards our stories. I expected to be sharing with you, presenting a talk with you in March. I departed for Bali on my birthday on March 3rd and have now been here since March 5th. And I did not expect to still be here. And yet here I am. I'm speaking to you from the rice fields of Ubud. And since I have been here unexpectedly, I have realized that more than anything else, when we make goals, when we make plans, when we have an agenda, there is no guarantee. We often are on one path and suddenly there's a detour or a really big roadblock that's forcing us to wait, forcing us to gain more patience, and perhaps forcing us to reassess where we are, to take a moment to breathe and look around us, to stop trying so hard to change things so that they fit into our agenda, so that they fit into that plan that we thought we had. That is the story that I have been living right now. Ironically, the presentation that I had prepared to give to you in March was about getting to our stories, getting to the heart of our stories. I had planned to share a story of a golden Buddha, a true story from history where the golden Buddha was covered in clay and it fell and it cracked open, and only then, when those layers of clay were revealed, were chipped away, was the gold revealed inside. And I've been thinking about that metaphor a lot, and how we all have hidden gold within us, and how only when we begin to chip away at our own layers of clay do we begin to see our own stories, our own light, and our own gold. But what I'm realizing now is that that golden Buddha I had spoke of, it's as if all of humanity and humankind and the lives that we were expecting and anticipating to lead at that time some months ago has dropped as well and cracked open. And now under these layers of clay, there's more layers than I anticipated that there were to get back to that light and that gold. And the harder that fall, the harder that drop is, the bigger that crack begins to reveal itself to us. I would love to ask you right now to answer the question: what new stories are being revealed to you during this time? What unexpected circumstances have forced you to perhaps go deeper, to unearth more gold within you that you didn't even realize was covered up? I thought I had chipped away at a lot of my own layers, but I am still realizing as my new story is unfolding daily, and uncertainty is perhaps the one thing that is consistent. I am realizing that I still had so many layers to break through. And I'm still living this new story every day. But the thing that is most liberating to me is realizing that as I am on this new path, I get to keep rewriting a new ending. I get to keep living a new story every day, and I get to keep letting go of those old stories that are no longer serving me, that had been, in fact, weighing me down. Joseph Campbell once wrote that the cave we fear to enter holds the treasures we seek. There is a treasure that I was seeking. I wanted to be more confident. I wanted to empower my own voice more. I had to break through my own fear to enter that cave and to find that treasure. And let me tell you that I found it. It took decades for me to break through my fear of speaking to other people, to accept those things that I was ashamed of about myself and my own story. It took a lot of work to enter that cave and to find that treasure, and it was golden, and it was emanating light. But what I didn't realize at that time, I found that treasure and I wanted it so badly, and I was keeping it to myself. I was hiding away. I didn't really want to share it with others because I believed at that time that it belonged to me. I had worked really hard to find it, to enter that cave. But it was not meant for me. And the more I held on to that, the more I hid myself away with my own treasures, the more weighted down I was becoming. And I wondered to myself, why do I not feel free yet? Why do I not feel liberated? Why do I still have this heaviness in my heart? Why am I still scared? Even when I didn't know what it was, I was still scared of. I knew there was something. But I've realized what it is. Here is the truth that as my own layers of my own life begin to chip away, here's the truth that is beginning to reveal itself to me. The poet Rumi said that what we seek is seeking us. Now more than ever, I believe that to be true. What we seek, those treasures I seek, it was not meant for me to hold on to, even though I believed it was my own light, and it was. And I believed it was my own gold, and it was. But that light and that gold is meant for us to give away. The way that we give it away is through our voices and our stories. That light I found within me, it's not meant to shine out of me. It is meant to shine through me onto you, onto others, so that they may then be inspired, so that that light can empower them and their voices and their stories, so that the empathy that they might feel or the compassion about my own story will inspire them to share theirs and generate more empathy and compassion from others. And through that, we are all beginning to be on, yes, our individual spiritual paths towards our story, but also a wider, more abundant path that we are sharing together right now as humans. And it is that path that I believe leads us towards a future that will be filled with more light, that will be generating more empathy, compassion, and tolerance in the world. I'm encouraging all of you to find what it is you're afraid of, what part of your story you might be hiding from others. Accept it, clarify it, begin to love that story about yourself. And once you share it, you write it and you share it out into the world, you are going to be free. And you are going to be able to, more importantly, help others find that freedom, that lightness to exist in the world in that beautiful place. I am incredibly grateful to Tomorrow People for the opportunity that they provided me to speak in early March. And I'm incredibly grateful that it didn't happen then. I'm realizing now that if it had, I wouldn't be able to share this story and this journey I've been living with you. The truths and the wisdom that keep being revealed to me out of uncertainty are the ones that are teaching me on a much deeper level. I've joked that I've been on this spiritual path since then and stuck in the spirituality and psychology conference since then. I've been living it every day. I never expected to be sharing this story with you in this way, speaking to you virtually from the rice fields of Ubud that are behind me. And yet, this is a story I am living. What story are you living right now? And how can you share it? I cannot be in front of you physically right now. You cannot feel perhaps that energy of being in a room full of people. But that is why now it is more important than ever that we generate a connectedness between each other. And if I have to do it looking into the camera on my laptop right now, then that is the way that I must accept I am meant to speak to you. But it's more important than ever that we share now and speak from our hearts and from our stories and from our vulnerability and our authenticity. Because I believe that light I spoke of is still able to be shared between us, through us, and connect all of us on our own spiritual path to our story. I encourage and I have faith that you will, starting right now, right in this uncertain, unexpected moment, see all the gifts that this moment right now, and being as present in it as you can, are providing to you, are offering you. I hope that you are receiving every one of those gifts, opening them up, seeing all of that light, that gold that's being given to you. And I have faith that you will now take those gifts and realize they're not meant for you. And you will begin to give them away.